Too much something.
Call this Topsham Select Board meeting to order April 20, 2023 from the Donald A. Russell Meeting Room. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Patty, would you call the roll, please?
David Douglas.
Here.
Mary Brilliant. Here. Ruth Lyon. Here. Matt Nixon.
Present.
Roland Tufts.
Excused.
Thank you.
Town manager.
Hey, welcome everyone. Maine Department of Transportation will be conducting an inspection on the Frank J. Wood Bridge Tuesday, April 25th to Thursday, April 27th. Residents crossing the bridge should expect delays between 9 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. Southbound traffic moving from Topsham to Brunswick will be able to cross the bridge. Northbound traffic, however, from Brunswick to Topsham will be detoured to the Topsham bypass and Route 196. Household hazardous waste day is scheduled for April 29th from 9 to 1 p.m. at the Brunswick Public Works Facility. Registration information is available on the town's website at www.topshammaine.com. Please note that the solid waste facility has a paint recycling program that's been going on for the last couple of years. Free of charge to Topsham residents. Topsham residents do not have to wait to dispose of their paint at the household hazardous waste day. Anytime that the facility is open, they can drop their paint off. And that program is running very well as our light program. The Brunswick Topsham Memorial Day Committee has announced that the annual Memorial Day Parade will be held on Monday, May 29th. Route 201 and Main Street will close to traffic at 8 a.m. that day. And the parade will begin at 9 o'clock a.m. following an observance at the municipal complex here where the flags and memorial is. The Topsham special meeting, town meeting, will be held at the Mount Ararat Middle School Orion Center on Tuesday, May 30th at 7 p.m. tonight. Following an update, we'll be going over the town warrant public hearing. And we are pleased to announce that all town-owned streetlights and facility lighting has been converted to LED lighting. I'd like to thank Affinity LED Lighting and Wiswell Electric for a job well done. There's just some small things at the facilities that have to be finished, but it's been a huge success. We've already seen savings. And lastly, I'd like to introduce and welcome Senator Eloise Vitelli, Senate District 24, representing all of Saginaw County and the town of Dresden, Lincoln County, tonight to introduce yourself and to give an update. Thank you very much and have a good night.
Great, well, thank you and good evening, everyone. I am Eloise Vitelli. I represent Senate District 24, which is all of Saginaw County and Dresden and Lincoln County, and I live in Rouseck, across the couple bridges. And I'm sorry to hear that I won't be in the Memorial Day parade this time because my son is getting married on the 29th. There are priorities. I hope the parade is successful. You're going to go across the bridge, I assume, still.
No big
Okay.
part.
Well, thank you for asking me here tonight. I just want to fill you in on a couple things and then answer any questions you may have to the best of my ability. The first thing I would say is that you've probably heard that we did pass a continuing services budget at the end of March. And it will be in effect so that our state will continue to be funded through this next fiscal year. And it did some important things, I think, that you probably care about. We kept the revenue sharing program going forward in place with 5%. We protected the property tax fairness credit, the homestead exemption, the tax breaks for Maine's retirees, the 55% state share of education. All of those things are in place and going forward, plus much more of ongoing services. What we will be talking about now, and the Appropriations Committee is continuing to discuss, are all of the additional projects, initiatives, and ideas that people have for funding going forward. So this at least gave us the breathing room to look at what other things might want to be funded or needed to be funded at the state level. Also gave us a chance to get another revenue forecast so that we know exactly what we'll be dealing with and how much we have to spend, so to speak. So
Or
I was
sing,
pleased with that.
or sing.
Yes, either way. As you all know, of course, the state's budget has to be balanced, so we can't spend any more than we bring in. The other thing I would say that is part of the budget, you may have heard this as well, there was a glitch in the calculation for school spending. And that when it was corrected and recalculated, most districts got an increase from what the initial projection was. You know about this already. You've got an additional 530, 954 in your overall ours 75 budget. So I think most towns felt that that was good news to get. The other thing I wanted to just touch on briefly, because thanks to Mr. Stravinsky, a lot of attention is being paid to the property tax stabilization proposal that was passed in the previous session. There are approximately 6 bills in the work to try to address that, because it was quickly understood and you helped us see this most clearly, that this was a program that was putting a significant burden on local administrators. It had some cost issues down the road that were going to be substantial and that would put at risk, frankly, all the things I just mentioned about the tax exemptions we are currently able to afford. So there are several approaches being considered. I have one coming, I think the hearing is next week. It's LD number 1650, which takes a different approach than some of the others by providing for a tiered homestead exemption based on the existing homestead exemption program. So I would urge you to, those of you who are concerned about this, to pay attention to that. I brought with me, for those of you who might find this interesting, a public hearing guide. So if you wanted to weigh in, you can certainly please do that. There are many ways of participating these days, both in person, by Zoom, or sending in written testimony. So I will leave these here for you if you want to dig into that and participate in the conversation. My guess is this issue will not be resolved until later in the session. So we'll be continuing to have conversations about what's the best approach to fix this program, because we want to preserve the intent, which is to make sure that seniors can stay in their home and they're not taxed out of their property. But we also want to do it in a way that does not burden local administrators, does not cost the state overall an arm and a leg, and therefore make it for the long term. And that is fair for all of us in our community. So those are the principles that we're going for, and we'll see what comes out of that. The other thing I will mention to you is that I'm serving on the Special Select Committee on Housing. I'm sure you're all aware that housing is a critical issue for our state, for our nation, certainly for the Mid-Coast area. I've been having conversations over a year now with leading businesses, Bath Iron Works, the hospital, LLB, municipal officials, housing directors in this Mid-Coast area about what can be done to develop more housing, to preserve more housing, so that we can have the workforce that we need to fuel our economy. So those conversations are ongoing. At the state level, we certainly realized that this was an issue at all levels of housing. So the Special Select Committee on Housing was formed, and we've been looking at a variety of bills, including ways to clarify what some people, where there are some misunderstanding in the bill that was passed last session, LD 2003, as it was called, which was a large approach to housing. One of the key features of that was the ADUs, the accessory dwelling units. So that's one of those areas that it felt that we could add housing in a fairly quick way by encouraging municipalities to consider allowing accessory dwelling units. There are lots of other questions still. The Housing Committee has been hearing a lot from municipalities about the time frame involved in that bill. There's some questions people still have. Understandably, the rules haven't yet been finalized, so there are still some things people aren't sure of. To that end, I've brought also a handout. Excuse me, I'm still getting over a poll here. There's some Zoom question and answer session on the LD 2003. The first one has already happened, but there's Tuesdays going through next Tuesday through May 30th. So I'll read these if any of you want to Zoom in and participate in some conversations about what's really going to happen with LD 2003 and what the expectations are. So you might find that of interest. That's really all I brought with me. I've got other bills that I'm sponsoring. It may or may not be of interest. I just had a hearing today on a bill that relates to Bath Iron Works and its ability to do some mutual aid with the local towns, Bath and Brunswick. But I'll stop there because my voice is about to give out and see if you have any questions.
No, just talk.
Back to the property tax stabilization. What is the easiest way to determine what all of the bills that are being proposed contain? I tried going on the website, the state website, and didn't have much success.
That's a good question. So they will be in the tax committee. So if
Okay.
you go to the tax committee's site, you should be able to find the documents there. If you can't find them, Gail, let me know and I'll pull the list together for you.
Senator, can you give us a 5,000-foot view of your tax stabilization proposal? Just when you say tiers.
I'll read you the summary of that.
Yeah, that would probably work.
It replaces the bill, the tax stabilization for senior citizens. And it provides that qualifying seniors earning less than 80% of the regional median family income qualify for an additional $25,000 homestead exemption. And those earning more than 80% but less than 100% of the regional median family income qualify for an additional $15,000 exemption. The bill also requires states to reimburse municipalities for 100% of the property tax loss under this program. I think the idea was that it fits in with existing property taxes exemption program.
Now on that, who would determine the home's income? Would it be put back onto the municipality to verify?
There's an application form that people can fill out online.
Right, but who verifies that it's correct information? The municipality or the state?
I think it's, well, I'd have to get back to you on
Okay,
that question for sure. I looked at it, but I don't remember where it goes.
okay. Because anything that's pushed back down to the municipality again
Yeah, no,
doesn't fix the problem that we're trying to fix.
I hear what you're saying.
So
Yeah.
all that verification of, and I'm sure that's based on tax returns and such, that's a McGill. McGill, it's a big gorilla. Mega gorilla.
The, one of the other provisions I think that really, chapped some folks' behinds was, the transferability. So essentially being able to transfer, your taxes from, let's say, a 2-bedroom cape to a $16 million mansion and still pay that same amount if you move.
Yeah, I think this takes that.
That takes
away.
that off, okay,
Yeah,
excellent.
that would not happen.
Any other questions?
Yeah, this just came up the other day. I noticed, there was a bill that was co-sponsored by local representatives to help Mira find funding for the infrastructure they have over at the base, the old base. I think you may have co-sponsored or at least signed on to it, but I think what it would be great to be brought forward is help over at the annex for Mira. Because right now, Mira doesn't really have funding to replace all of their water infrastructure. Through
Is
Can
this Dan
and-
Angley's bill?
Yes, it is.
Okay, gotcha now.
Just a note, a reference that maybe we can include the Thompson Annex in that to help Mira out. with
Okay.
funding.
Yeah, I'll mention that to her. That sounds fair to me.
Anything else?
I just have a real quick one, going back to the tax stabilization. Is that, I think there was 5 or 6 bills that are trying to correct that. Is there any way we can get a synopsis of those bills together so that we could maybe understand what each of them are trying to do, so we know how to support?
Yeah, similar to Dale's question about where they are, and where you can find them. I'll see if we can put together a synopsis.
I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good meeting.
Any general public comment? None.
I have a comment.
Yep.
If you want me to,
Yeah, do it.
I'm not really doing it as a selectman, it says, is it okay if I sit here? Should go to our own bed.
I don't know what you're gonna say.
All
Depends
of
what you say.
Well, I don't care what you say. What, I've heard a few things this week on affordable housing. Affordable housing, there's a lot of problems to make it affordable. And part of the comments I've been hearing is before a shovel hits the ground, a developer has to pay, number one, a $90,000 fee, a $30,000 fee to the town. That doesn't even count the fees that's to the state. So already there's expended a couple $100,000. Now, how do you expect a developer to recoup that? And I'm not sticking up for a developer, but I'm just saying, it just doesn't make sense to try to bring the working people in the town of Topsham to have all these fees. And it's not just Topsham, it's everywhere. And then we expect landlords, developers and stuff to not make any money. So I just want to say that. I've heard it 2 or 3 times from different developers this week.
Any other public comment? Anyone have correspondence this week? Nothing. Crickets. Any adjustments to the agenda? No. Consent calendar, approval of the minutes of the regular select board meeting of 2023. It's been moved and it's been seconded. All those in favor? Unanimous. Approval to open the polls at 8 AM on June 13, 2023. For the MSAD 75 budget validation referendum election. To appoint Peter LaPerry and Steve Littlefield as moderators. And extend the registrar's office hours on Thursday, June 8 until 7 PM. I'll vote with that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion moved and seconded. All those in favor? Unanimous. All right. Now into the most anticipated part of the evening, the public hearing. 2340, consideration and appropriate action on all budgetary articles and not on all budgetary articles and non-budgetary articles for placement on the special town meeting warrant. For those maybe at home in the general public watching tonight. So what we'll do is, there's nobody?
Not yet.
All right, so I'll just lay it out anyway. So we will open the public hearing. What I usually go down through is each of the articles. If anyone comes forward, wants to speak to them, do that. And then before I close public, I ask for any general comments from the public about maybe they weren't here in time for Article 4 and they want to go back or whatever. And then we'll close it. And once the public hearing is closed, we will go then through each of the articles. All the monetary articles will be voted on by the select board and the finance committee. So the select board will take a vote and then you'll call for your group to take a vote. And then we will be on to new business, and that will be the end of it. And then, same as we've always done, right? Okay, yes, so let's not mess it up. Open the public hearing. So Article 1 is to elect a moderator. Article 2 is to see if the town will ratify a change in date. Any better? From the 24th to the 30th, to see if, Article 3, to see if the town will ratify a change to allow the select board by 2/3 majority to waive the interest penalty on property taxes for up to 6 months beyond the due date during a declared state of emergency within the past 6 months. just in case anyone comes back, if you recall, this is something we put in place following the pandemic. That if there was a need to do such a thing, we had the ability, because there was no ability to do that prior to the pandemic. Article 4, to have the town vote to raise, appropriate, and spend the sum of $208,695 for debt service, and that's the same number for Finance Committee and the Select Board. Nobody, and then, and just I'll say this up front. All of the monetary are ought to pass by both the Finance Committee and the Select Board. Article 5, to see what sum the town will vote to spend for general government under the following accounts, and there is a list of them. And see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the same, and authorize the Select Board to transfer funds from municipal insurance to departments, outside of general government for anticipated employee wage and benefit adjustments. Is that this one here? Wasn't that in there for contracts last time?
So under municipal insurance,
Yeah, gotcha, yeah,
that's what that money lies.
I remember that now, sorry, I'll shut up. So, Select Board, Finance Committee, the same number, $4,352,149. Article 6, to see what sum the town will vote to spend capital projects fund under the following account, to see if the town, see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the same. That number is $1,988,000. Still no mark. Okay. Article 7, see what sum the town will vote to spend for public safety under the following accounts, and to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the same. Both groups are $3,848,495. Article 8. To see what sum the town will vote to spend for public works and solid waste recycling under the following accounts, and to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the same. And in parentheses, the Public Works Department is authorized to spend funds from this article in support of capital projects. That total is $2,096,427. And then Article 9 is LD1. At this point, we are well under it, Mr. Manager, so we shouldn't have to do this. So those are all the financial items on the warrant. Next. So Article 10. See if the voters will adopt an ordinance to amend the Topsham zoning ordinance to amend 225-27G4 off-street parking and loading to revise the sidewalk requirements in the MUL and MUC. 11, see if the voters will adopt an ordinance to amend the Topsham zoning ordinance to amend 225-6 definitions, 225-60.6 affordable housing developments, 225-27 C-1 off-street vehicle parking space requirements in chapter 225 attachment 2 table of dimensional requirements to maintain compliance with state affordable housing requirements. Did I leave off at 11? Sorry. I think I mentioned something. You're done. Go ahead. Okay, great.
With the zoning amendments, the Director of Planning, Julie Erdman, provided a summary of each of those changes in the packet tonight.
Article 12, see what if the voters will adopt an ordinance to amend Topsham zoning ordinance to amend 225-6 definitions, 225-54 renting rooms and apartments in chapter 225 attachment 2 table of dimensional requirements to define accessory dwelling unit and establish minimum size requirements. And then Articles 13 through 23. had a copy of this warrant prior to today. There was 24 articles. 23 and 24 were actually able to be worded in such a way it could both apply to one article. So we now just have 23 and 24 also. Those, so anyways, 2013 through 23 are normal housekeeping articles, fixing the dates of taxes, fixing the dates for town meeting. Authorize the board to accept gifts, not to us. Authorize to put in the grants. And the normal stuff. Seeing there's nobody here, no one online. All right. Last call, anyone wants to discuss it in the public hearing before we go into our discussions? Okay. So we'll just go down the monetary items, then I'll break over to you. So actually, we'll start, so I make a motion that Article 1 through 3 are moved to the town meeting warrant for special town meeting.
Second.
Motion and seconded, all those in favor? Unanimous here. Now, Article 4. I make a motion that we move Article 4 to the special town meeting warrant of $208,695 for debt service.
Okay.
Motion seconded, all in favor? Unanimous.
Do I have to repeat exactly what you said?
Do what you gotta do, just get it on the paper.
All right. I move on behalf of the finance committee that we move the 208,695, 208,695 for debt service onto the warrant. All those in favor?
Article 5, I make a motion that we move Article 5 for special town meeting warrant in the sum of $4,352,149.
Second.
Motion seconded, all in favor, unanimous.
On behalf of the finance committee, I also move that we move $4,352,149. Thank you, to the warrant for general government. All those in favor?
The creditors wouldn't like your $2,000 for debt service.
Gail, am I assuming that Mike is seconding? Oh, yes.
Yeah, I saw the hand go up.
Thank you. You said it. All right.
You couldn't see.
Well, I'm adding to her figures, so yes, I'm doing that.
It's keeping me straight here.
Make a motion to move Article 6 for capital funds project in the total of $1,988,000.
Second.
Motion, all those in favor?
I'm gonna try it one more time. Okay, on behalf of the finance committee, I move that we move $1,988,000 to the warrants for the town meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
You know, I want to make, this is a quorum for you, right?
Yes. There are only
Okay, I
five.
didn't even think of that.
Yeah, there are only five.
Article 7, I make a motion that we move $3,848,495 from Article 7 to the warrant. Motion. We mad?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
On behalf of the finance committee, I move that we pass $3,848,495 to the warrant under Article 7.
Second.
All in favor?
Article 8, I move that we move Article 8 for Public Works Solid Waste Recycling in the amount of $2,096,427 to the warrant for the special town meeting.
Second.
Motion and seconded. All those in favor? Unanimous.
On behalf of the finance committee, I move that we approve $2,096,427 under Article 8 to the warrant.
Second.
All in favor?
Article 9, so I make a motion that we move Article 9 to the special town meeting warrant with the select board recommendation of no recommendation.
Second.
Motion seconded, all those in favor? I'm not done yet. Gail's gonna go on and see, you gotta do this one too.
This is right, because it's LD one.
Yeah.
Okay. On behalf of the Finance Committee, I recommend that we have no recommendation on Article 9 with respect to LD 1.
Second.
All in favor?
All right, I make a motion that we move Article 10 to the special town meeting warrant as written. Motion seconded, all those in favor? Unanimous. Make a motion that we move Article 11 to the special town meeting warrant. As
Second.
written, seconded, all in favor? That was 11. 12, I make a motion that we move Article 12 to the town meeting warrant as presented. Motion seconded, all in favor, unanimous. I make a motion that we move Articles 13 through 23 through to the town meeting warrant for the special town meeting as written.
Second.
Motion seconded, all those in favor, unanimous. That's that. All right, now to business. Twenty-three forty-one, consideration and appropriate action to authorize the treasurer to convey the real property located at 52 Bridge Street to Cara L. Dowling, provided the sum of $18,857.32 is paid by April 21, 2023. Just, we don't need anything. Yeah. So I'll make a motion that we authorize the treasurer to convey the real property located at 52 Bridge Street, Ellen, provided the sum of $18,857.32 is paid by April 21, 2023. Motion seconded. All in favor? 2342, consideration of any appropriate action to authorize the treasurer to convey the real property located at 25 Mark Avenue to Topsham Mobile Home Sales Incorporated, provided the sum of $514.22 is paid by April 21, 2023. Motion seconded, all in favor. Take us home, Matt.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor. We're out. Yeah, we had everyone sign before we leave.
Yeah.